Just another day exposing these frauds, fakes, hypocrites, Democrats, the left. You just can't make this up. So we've put together just a beautiful compilation as we get into today's show. Enjoy.
5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future. We pay in this country the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. Maybe, just maybe, it might be time for the United States Senate to stand up to the pharmaceutical industry and all of their lobbyists here and all of their campaign contributions and say we're going to stand with the American people who are sick and tired of being ripped off by the drug companies. There are many reasons why we pay such outrageous prices, but one reason is we continue passing laws written by the pharmaceutical industry and their lobbyists year after year after year. I believe that the American people should know that the pharmaceutical industry has spent more than $3 billion on lobbying since 1998. How's that? Democracy at work. Drug companies charge us the highest prices in the world, and the pharmaceutical industry spends $3 billion on lobbying. They're all over these places, well-priced lobbyists trying to get us to pass pharma legislation. We have got to have the courage to start taking on the pharmaceutical industry and representing the American people. So I look forward to working with my friends on the other side to come up with a good solution to protect the American people at the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs in this country.
My administration will secure what we're calling most favored nations drug pricing. The principle is simple. Whatever the lowest price paid for a drug in other developed countries, that is the price that Americans will pay. And we're using the term other developed countries because there are some countries that need some additional help, and that's fine. I think that's very good. Some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries. To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to totally cut out the famous middlemen. Nobody knows who they are, middlemen. I've been hearing the term for 25 years, middlemen. I don't know who they are, but they're rich. That I can tell you. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen. So we're cutting out, Bobby, the middlemen. It's so important, right? You got to do that. They're worse than the drug companies. They don't even make a product, and they make a fortune.
Promise to you, and you can repeat this, play this tape over if I'm elected president. And that is, if I am elected president, I'm going to cut prescription drug costs in this country by 50% so that we are not paying any more than other major countries are paying. Maybe we
want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Bernie, you just can't make this up. Y'all know we come on here every single day, it feels like, and we expose these filthy, dirty politicians. Hypocrisy, these hypocrites, these frauds, fakes, criminals. They ought to be walked out with their hands behind their back. I got to say it, y'all. It's in my bloodstream. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I don't care. Click off the video. But I think there needs to be a lot of people walked out with their hands behind their back. Simple. They say, Rick, sir, calm down, sir. It's Wednesday, sir. Rick, don't raise your blood pressure. We're almost to Friday, sir. It's Wednesday. But happy Wednesday, family, or whatever day you're watching this or time you're watching this. I hope you are blessed, well, and healthy, man. It's one love to the human race. I hope everybody's having an amazing week, an amazing month of May. That 2025 is off to a great start, man. But we got Bernie Sanders. They say Bernie Sanders 2028. How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comment section. Bernie Sanders flying around with AOC. You know? And it all comes out, man. Everything Trump does is bad to them. But then don't even look in the mirror or see what they're doing. You know, but everything Trump does, even if they come out and do the same thing, but if Trump does it, it's bad. You know, Trump's not doing this. He needs to do. I want to do this. I want to do that, and then Trump comes out and does it. You know, but he's still the bad guy. You know, Congress is just a criminal organization. They got to walk in there and clean house too. I'm just saying. A disgrace, man. It really is. You know. But honestly, all the things that we're seeing, especially with the left, these Democrats, people like Bernie Sanders, the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett's, the deranged folks, Trump derangement syndrome. I wish they cared this much for the American people, for we the people. I wish they cared this much. I'm just being honest. I wish they cared this much. I'm just saying. That's like the quote of the year. I wish they cared this much about the American people. For we the people. Actual American citizens. I wish they cared. But let's go and start it off. Let's go. We already exposed a lot in the intro of the video. So, you know, let's go and start it off.
But brothers and sisters, it is not just oligarchy we are dealing with right now. We are dealing with a president who undermines our Constitution every single day, who threatens our freedom of speech and assembly, and whose agents...
I pause. Look at the crowd. Pause. You know, bust in, you know, paid protesters. Nothing's never real. Nothing's real or authentic, you know. But hey, they got good hairdos. I like the lady up here. She got the blue going on, and you know the purple. Of course, you know the blue and the purple is like the standout colors for the left. So I kind of like that the little hair color. I'm sorry, y'all. They say, Rick, sir, please don't do that, sir. Rick, do not do that. You know you up there lying, talking about you like their hair color. You better stop lying, Rick.
As we speak, are rounding up innocent people off the streets, throwing them into unmarked vans, and taking them to detention centers in this country or elsewhere. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I don't know if some of you saw some...
The lies, the fear-mongering, the misinformation, you know. It just doesn't stop, man. They ought to walk on stage and walk Bernie out in handcuffs.
But these videos, woman walks down the street, suddenly car stops, these guys come in plain clothes, masks on, throw her into a car, and whisk her off someplace. Happened in Vermont today. That is what...
Sound like what them illegal alien criminals y'all vouch for been doing. Yeah. All the murders and rapers and what they've been doing. I really wish they cared this much for the American people. I really do, man. This what happens in dictatorships, not democracies. Trump wants to be king. They want this to be a kingdom.
What happens in dictatorships, not in democracies. We're not going to let Trump and his friends get away with that. And again, I don't care whether you're a conservative or a progressive. Men and women have fought to defend our democracy and our Constitution. And we're not going to let Trump destroy that Constitution.
Oh, Bernie. Oh, Bernie. But I couldn't wait to get into this video.
You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
Although I've got a video coming up right now of a white person who is bad, and it's, well, I guess it's not based on the color of his skin, but Bernie Sanders, who has, again, as I always say, in 40 years of Senate career, he has done nothing. He has signed no major piece of legislation. All this man's legacy is that he told young people that it's virtuous to be jealous of what other people want. He became a millionaire with 3 houses while basically telling you you should stay on.
A lot of these filthy politicians that have done nothing, you know, and then they go out and do something, don't even realize, oh, but Trump did this, but I did that, but oh, you know what? Trump's the bad guy. That's the big bad orange man. You know, he's the threat to democracy. He's Hitler. He's the dictator on day one. You know, these people kill me with this crap, man. And watch his face. I love this video. Let's continue to play it.
Minimum wage and pretending that he was a good guy. So he's getting a lot of right now. I love this video. Like, I saw this over the weekend. I was like, I cannot wait to play this on the show on Monday. He's getting a lot of right now because he's running his Fight the Oligarchy tour with AOC, and they're taking private planes. And of course, private planes, you know, usually it could be 15 to 40 grand to fly one way and the other way back, whether they have, you know, donors that are paying for it or whatever it is. I don't begrudge someone the right to do it, except you quote unquote hate capitalism. But even more than that, you're supposed to be for the environment. You guys are all green. It was AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, with her Green New Deal that was supposed to stop the environment from burning down and killing all of us in 12
Green New Scam. Green New Scam.
years. That was 6 years ago. But you guys have no problem flying private. So I do begrudge you when you try to make us all feel guilty for the very that you are doing. So Bernie's getting a lot of crap for this, for flying private. And listen to the smug. If you want to see, what do I always say about a progressive? There's a thin veneer of tolerance. And then if you just scratch it, if you just peel that little thin veneer off, how quickly they become elitist and intolerant. Listen to his answer when he's asked about flying private. This is extraordinary.
All right, last thing. You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Oh, so Bernie has important to do, guys. You think Bernie Sanders should wait? You think Bernie Sanders should wait in line? Everyone else that's waiting in line at United, they have nothing to do. They have nothing important. They have no important business meeting to do. They have no important, they're going to fly to see grandma one last time. That's not important. He's a politician, guys. So why should he have to? On top of the fact that the amount of CO2 he is putting into the atmosphere that Bernie Sanders has put into the atmosphere in all of the private flights he has taken is way more than I've taken 2 private flights in my life, and I don't feel guilty for either one of them, okay? But he is the one that's trying to guilt you while telling you you're destroying the environment, and how am I supposed to do it? I'm an important person, blah, blah, blah. You're a peon. He is the perfect living example of the hypocrisy and endless bullshit that is a Democrat socialist. And this is also the reason they want to censor the internet, because watch what happens here.
What we're doing now is speaking to the American people and saying, you have got to be involved in this process, because if you are not, the planet that we're going to leave to our kids and our grandchildren will be significantly less habitable. 5 rallies in a week, the only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting. That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Can't make this up, man. You just can't make this up. But everything Trump does is bad. And then he come out and says, "Oh, I want to do this. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should lower drug prices. This is just happened." Trump comes out and does it. He's still bad. You just can't make this up, man. We are against a great evil. We just can't win with these people, man. It's honestly sad and pathetic that we're living in times like this with these people that are in these roles, in these positions, that have this much power. I'm just saying, man. Fake news media can't tell you the truth, and there's a written. They did a poll week before last, and people voted on it. It was over I think 5 million that was on that poll, and then it was like, how many of you voted because of the media, lies and bias, and it got over 80%. Fake news media can't tell you the truth. All these lies and fear mongering. People are the propaganda, this rhetoric. People are sick and tired of this crap, man. And this is why Democrats are where they at. This is why y'all have no leader. Y'all in the ditch. This is why. Bernie Sanders and AOC 2028. Woo! I really want to see how this plays out. I really do. I really do. It's bad, man. You just can't make it up.
Yep, so you get it. That's why they want to censor everybody too, because there's all the old videos. Yeah, if Bernie really cared about the environment, you know what, Bernie, if you really cared about the environment, you would fight the oligarchy, maybe with, 2 less stops so that you'd have to wait at the airport, just like the peons you pretend that you care about, but you don't really. And really, if any of the bullshit, and it is all bullshit, that you purported to believe about the environment was true, you just would not be taking those flights. You simply would not. Your desire to fight the oligarchy would not supersede the fact that you're killing the world by your own estimation.
Yeah, can't make it up, man. I had to show y'all this, man. But we expose these frauds, these hypocrites, the hypocrisy every single day, man. And then they got this one going viral all over the internet of Bernie and Democrats making promises to cut prescription costs in 2020. Well, Trump actually did it. And Trump coming out with major executive orders, and doing the best he can, man. And these people are still trying to block everything that he does. These activist judges. I mean, district judges think they outranked the president. The man had a mandate. The man landslide. The people spoke loud and clear. Then these other clowns, impeachment. That one fella, I don't know what that fella got on his head. I don't know. I couldn't even understand what he was saying. He was barely speaking English, and he had that little thing on his head, with that big old sign. Trapped in the Constitution. I don't know what the hell he was saying. And then the other one waving around his pimp cane. Democrats are sad, man. Sad and pathetic. And like Trump said, they've lost all their confidence. They have nothing else to go on. But their heroes are murderers, rapers, killers. I mean, just taxing us till we die. No common sense. Can't tell us what a woman is. Want men and boys and girls' bathrooms. Y'all, this is why y'all done ran everybody out of there, man. They done ran everybody out of there. And a lot of these I'm telling you, these senators, the Congress, it's a whole criminal organization. It's a lot of people that need to be just walked out. Removed, expelled, fired, sued, in jail, in prison. But enough of me. Yeah, I can go on and on and on, y'all. I know y'all hit the same thing every single video. I know, y'all. I know, family. But let me know what y'all think of this. Leave a beautiful comment down below. How do you feel about Bernie Sanders? How do you feel about AOC and Bernie Sanders? Let me know in the comment section. Leave a beautiful comment down below. God bless you all. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day, rest of the week. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.